What is it that you want to live for?
Like, the situation is fucked.
Not that it's too little too late, but it almost might be a little too late.
I guess we're all probably control freaks to some point, so to feel like you have zero control over something that you're fully aware of is what scares me the most.
Pain is weakness leaving the body, sorry. It's one of their mottos, and so it's like, you're always like, you know, beating the crap out of each other physically and mentally.
You know, they're trained to be warriors, and anything other than being a warrior is seen as weakness.
I can't let it, I'll be seen as weak. I'll be seen as weak.
Man or woman who is serving is 4 times more likely to die at their own hands than they are at the hands of the enemy.
I think we've all pushed it back years. You know, I got out in 2015, and until this trip, never really talked to anybody.
This needs to stop. This cannot keep going on.
Getting to Tuk, like, that was a bucket list item, but that's an adventure ride that I could have done myself. It was about all the other stuff. That's why I'm here.
No man left behind because someone is struggling with something.
I hope that Embrace the Tuk becomes a movement. I really do.
If we're gonna have this make a big impact, if we're gonna reach the masses, if we're gonna reach the individual that needs to see this, I'm doing it for the one. If it helps the many, great. But if I can help one, that's great.
It's 8,000 people a year, and that's a low number. Like, every veteran knows somebody who has committed suicide. Oh, this is so much worse than I ever could have possibly imagined it, and everyone knows it. Like, all the veterans at least know about it and want to try and do something about it.
My name is Jonathan Williams. I'm from Longview, Washington, and I served in the United States Army.
My name is Brady Allen. I am from Colorado, and I served in the U.S. Army.
I'm Billy Steele. I currently live in Texas, and I was in the U.S. Coast Guard.
My name is Doug Smith. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I served in the Florida Army Air National Guard.
My name is Thomas Jesse Pena Jr. I'm from Washington State, and served in the United States Marine Corps, the United States Coast Guard, and the Army National Guard.
My name is Carl Jennings. I'm from the Bay Area, California, and I'm actively serving in the U.S. Coast Guard.
Going to Tuktoyaktuk is a bucket list item for adventure riders. But to be able to do it with fellow veterans and build those relationships with these guys. I don't know any of these guys really outside of the weekly Zoom meetings that we've had since this whole thing has kind of started up. So getting to know those veterans and hearing their stories and hearing their struggles is something that I'm really looking forward to.
The difficulty of the trip, you know, we're not taking a beach trip to Miami or something, right? Like it's intentionally hard. Taking a group of people from all over the country that don't know each other and trying to accomplish one of the hardest trips you can make in North America, I think that alone stands out.
If I didn't think it wouldn't help, I wouldn't be doing this project. Otherwise, it's just a motorcycle ride.
Like, if it prevents one person from taking that step, then it's all worth it. If we can help a lot of people, hey, great. But if it stops one person from committing suicide because they looked at this and said, okay, I'm gonna call my buddy, we're good.
2 friends died from suicide. I've had other friends and family actually get kind of hint to it. So I'm like, so it's on my radar, and I like to help people, so.
And this is one of those times where this is something that I can control and something I can do. And I think that this will have, measurable results, hopefully.
There is a defined goal and mission, and we're all like-minded to do it and to make it happen. We have all known somebody that has committed suicide and understand the importance of it.
Guess you saw everything you wanted to see. I got a KTM 1190 Adventure R, and this is everything that I'm going to try and put on this bike for this trip. Sleeping bag, sleeping pad, everything in the big dry bag there. Then in the back in the trunk, I've got camera equipment and some tire repair tools back here.
I'm kind of just making sure that nothing's gonna fall off, to be honest. It's almost relaxing after a while because you kind of just do the same thing over and over again. So it's still kind of that phase of like disbelief that we leave tomorrow because it's not quite real yet.
Have a spot tracker, which whenever I turn it on, my wife and anybody else can know, and if there's any life or death situation, we can press SOS and they can find us.
I know there's something I can do without, I just don't know what that is, so right now I'm just making room for it all.
My original reason to join the military was just to serve the country, go fight. You know, that was gung-ho combat, or that's hence the Marines.
So I served as a combat medic in the U.S. Army's 10th Mountain Division, and it's the U.S. Army's most deployed division.
I joined in 2011, looking to make some changes in my life, hopefully for the better. And I've come from a long line of military service, so parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, everybody, I want to say all the way back to the Revolutionary War. So I was just another one to join the list.
I am an AMT-2, currently stationed in Astoria, Oregon. Prior to joining the Coast Guard, I was a firefighter paramedic and got to do some interaction with the Coast Guard and decided I wanted to go serve.
Was my stepdad came home one day because he was also in the National Guard, and he says, hey, how would you like to be a helicopter mechanic? And I'm like, I don't know anything about helicopters. He says, you don't have to, they'll send you to school. I made that leap, and I did it. And that's got to be one of the best things I ever did.
In my current profession as an instructor, college instructor, I see a lot of veterans who come through my classes who are dealing with different things, whether it be PTSD, or some sort of physical limitation, and I don't think a lot of people really understand just some of the struggles that our veterans are going through.
So last year I went to the Giant Loop Ride and I got involved with Veterans Back 40, and that community is doing amazing things for veterans, suicide prevention, veterans helping veterans, just building your network so that there's always someone on the other end of the phone for someone going through something rough, and we could all take turns leaning on each other. This ride, I think, is just an extension of that and an effort to spread it wider and further so that hopefully we can reach more veterans. Wanting to do the Embrace the Tuck ride specifically, we had 2 members lose their lives here at my unit, and it hit us really hard. And I was able to call some of the guys from VB40, and so I had reached out to them during those hard times, and when this trip started to actually materialize, they thought that I needed to be on it, and I agreed.
All right, bow with me. Lord, we just come before you. God, I pray for every one of these riders. May they glorify you on their ride and have great conversations along the way. And Lord, we just lift up all of our servicemen and women, that you just put a hedge of protection around them, especially those that are battling with mental illness and contemplating suicide. So Lord, we just pray that over this next 3 weeks, you just bring awareness, epidemic that we have across our service members. God, we just pray that these suicide numbers drop dramatically as they go across your great land and bring awareness. Lord, just protect them, be with their families as they are away for the next few weeks, and bring them back safely to us. In your holy and precious name, amen.
Purpose of the trip?
We're all veterans.
Yeah.
We're going on a trip, going up to Tuktoyaktuk, however you pronounce the name.
Okay.
Nervous. I've never done anything like this before, especially just recording myself, but I think it's probably good and healthy that they're having us do this, not just for the documentary, but for us to basically have an inner dialogue on the outside.
The 12th, so we're a few days into the trip now. We had a pretty good feeling that there was going to be some difficult conversations today with one of the riders.
We weren't feeling safe with Doug and his bike situation. It was like a gut punch for all of us, realistically. He's the smallest guy here with the largest bike. Just a random idea, I'm the biggest guy with the smallest bike, so I said, hey, let's just switch bikes.
The last thing I want you to feel like is you're being targeted, because you're not. But I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. There are some real concerns about your ability once we get into some hairy stuff.
Of course, I'm on the inside of the fishbowl looking out, but y'all are on the outside looking in. And if that's what y'all see, then so be it. I'm not here to jeopardize anything. Mission first.
I'm just glad we have a plan to keep you coming with us.
Yes.
The last thing we ever wanted to do was turn you loose or turn you around or anything. And
It's just tough because it's a group of guys that have never ridden together, and everyone has different skill levels and comfort levels and all of that. So just thank you for handling this well.
Doug took it like a champ. He was really, really receptive, which is great, because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. And then we ended up switching bikes. So him and I are kind of like bike buddies.
Immediately he felt more comfortable with riding the KLR. It's 150 pounds lighter than his bike or something like that.
there's probably some storming left to go, but we got a big chunk of it out of the way, and we're even closer after, and people are communicating better and people are communicating healthier.
Having this tunnel vision that Tuk is our destination, Tuk is our goal, and that's a trap that I want to be careful I don't fall into, because Tuk is not our goal. Our goal is to raise awareness to veterans and active duty members in need, and that's our goal. Tuk is just a bucket list checkoff.
Yeah, that's all right.
A little chilly. It's its lowest I saw was 43, which was definitely not super pleasant.
Hey, well, we left and it was like 38 degrees, but hey, I'm layered up.
Yeah, I slept with the rain fly flapped open so I could get the good airflow, and then just zipped my mummy bag all the way up, so like this was all that was out. And I woke up just watching my breath, but I was so comfy. Just that contrast in temperature.
So all three of these guys are veterans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Perfect. We just got stuck on the island because of forest fire, and then we twist around in BC, and I start to get hurted. So I fixed it with a feminine hygiene pad, which is even better than the real deal. So I got the extra set in my luggage when these ones are worn out, I would say.
you're doing a documentary to raise awareness to veteran and active duty military suicides. Embrace the suck is a military saying. Do you know what it means?
Yeah.
You just keep making forward progress no matter the obstacles. So we're playing off of that.
Yeah.
And the name of the project is going to be Embrace the Tuk.
Perfect.
Yep. So that's our nonprofit, Veterans Back 40 Adventure. You can have one of those.
Thank you.
That's for you. And
Oh,
for,
thank you.
Yeah.
I was just joking.
Yeah, but hey, we're promoting that. We're promoting.
And we're never going to eliminate veteran suicide. We're never going to eliminate suicide in general, but we can make a difference. It doesn't have to be as bad as it is, because it's horrible right now.
Even the numbers you see, the catchy things like the 22 a day, right? Like those numbers are skewed. There's a lot of estimations that it's significantly higher.
Culture that's ingrained, especially in our combat forces, where they're trained to be warriors, and anything other than being a warrior is seen as weakness.
Pain is weakness leaving the body. Sorry, it's one of their mottos, and so it's like you're always like, beating the crap out of each other physically and mentally.
There's I guess the survivors of these instances, which is what I am, not like my own personal suicide, but I survived when someone else didn't kind of deal. You feel helpless about anything you could have done or can do moving forward, even though you know about a problem, you have no tools to fix it, or you're just scrambling to find a tool to fix it. And then the member themselves, the active duty person or veteran, how helpless did they feel that this became the top option, that this climbed their list of mechanisms, that this was now the solution to something. I guess we're all probably control freaks to some point, so to feel like you have zero control over something that you're fully aware of is what scares me the most.
I think it has so much to do with ego. I can't let I'll be seen as weak. I'll be seen as weak. And from that point, you know, if you just deny it so long, you're going further and further down a rabbit hole, and you get to a point that you don't think rationally.
I would say that mental health issues have always been stigmatized within the U.S. military. I mean, you can go back to World War I or even earlier, and you had shell shock and, you know, stuff like that. It's all the same thing. It's all PTSD. It's just different terms for it. It has nothing to do with your resiliency or your toughness or even what the experience was. Trauma is trauma.
Losing sense of that purpose or losing sense of some reason to keep going over time in combination with particular events, you know, on a smaller basis, they just eventually add up. Part of the reason why I don't sleep at night, you know, I get woken up by dreams that I don't particularly care to relive.
My two co-workers, and the fact that they both took their life, and the fact that being on the other end where I had a family member commit suicide, it means that much more to me, because it's something that is a system that needs to be fixed, and they did not live the life that God intended for them to live out.
The most recent ones that have really impacted me the most were losing two members at my unit that I'm currently at, and they were in the same year in what I would consider rapid succession. I guess if you look at statistics, it's not, but if you're that person there experiencing it, it's too much, too fast. Any are too much, but it was more than I could handle. I wasn't done processing a first loss when we experienced a second one, and I'm at a smaller unit. There's 30 some odd of us, and we're in close, tight-knit groups, and to lose two, not only from my base and my unit, but on the hangar deck, the same 3 helicopters, the same group of 30 people, it was a very tight-knit group that this happened to.
And so he deployed to Syria and had to come back early from the deployment because I guess they treated a child who was around the same age as his kid, one of his kids, and that messed him up pretty good. And so he actually came back from that deployment early. He was home for a couple of months, and then basically the day after Thanksgiving, they had a whole like neighborhood party with all the neighbors, you know, friends over, the whole deal. Everybody had a great time, and the next morning he literally just took the trash out, walked out to the office, and shot himself. The people that I knew the best, I mean, he was definitely one of them. We were there together for basically everything that happened in Iraq. I mean, there was not really an instance that happened where he was not there also for it. And the hardest thing on him was I know that if he had talked to me, I could have talked him out of it. But he was at that point where he didn't want to talk to anybody. He just wanted the pain to stop. You know, you have this kind of weird, resentful anger towards them because it shouldn't have happened, and you just bounced on your wife and 2 small children. But I also get exactly why. Like, I know what that feels like, and you don't feel like that's ever gonna stop.
And then in March of 2022, I went into work, and I crashed. I didn't crash the vehicle, but I personally, mentally, emotionally crashed. And that was the last time I worked. I had to take off from that point, and I drank and would sleep. I would drink and I would sleep. And I did that for maybe 3 or 4 weeks until I could get a bed at a rehab facility and start that process of getting turned around. I was in that place for 2 months and went home, and I had to accept the fact that I had to retire. I couldn't go back to work again.
Busy morning this morning. Billy and I got up early and we had a grinding noise on the trailer back on one of the wheels, so we had more rocks in the trailer brakes, and in the midst of all that we found that the trailer brake wiring was completely tore out, so we also had no trailer brakes. So we fixed all of that, fixed all the wiring. We had a fender that was getting pretty loose on the trailer, fixed that. We started working on bikes, adjusting chains and cleaning out fork seals again, and so it's been a pretty busy morning.
Most recent difficult parts of the trip, we seem to be breaking everything. You know, locks being sticky, flat tires.
The mud is so tacky, and they put some sort of calcium in it as well for the roads, that it made a brick of mud on top of my radiator. I got a high temp, followed by an extreme caution, followed by the engine shut off as I pulled up to the water spigot. KTM must have a function to say, all right, you're too stupid, you're gonna ruin this bike, and shut it off for me.
We got into rain. Yeah, rain's great because it knocks down all of the dust and everything. However, it also makes for some interesting muddy situations. Everybody was a little bit more on cue to what they were doing, but at the same time, everybody's tired from yesterday.
I don't think I've ever had such a hard ride in my entire life.
Yeah, it was a long day. It was raining like crazy. I think we're a little fatigued, a little bit, so I want to get plenty of sleep tonight.
Expected with this trip. This trip was supposed to be hard. It wasn't supposed to be easy by any means. Both physically and mentally. Everybody's drained. We're all fucking beat. Cold weather, sleeping on the ground, but it's what we signed up for.
But we still have a lot of work to do on talking more and more in depth about what is happening with our veterans.
So our aid station in Iraq was set up to where we had 4 patient beds. Nobody came into the aid station that was breathing or had a pulse. Doctors were burned out. We were just done. But as an RPG had come through his windshield, and basically everything from his eyebrows down was shattered. He was the first patient at our aid station in about a month that had left breathing, that had arrived breathing. And no matter how horrible that was, and like, holy shit, that was a patient I hope to never see anything like again. I think he ended up having like 60-something reconstructive surgeries, but he's gonna live. Those wins become so much more important after everything else that comes before it. We have all of these stories of people who have not made it. You know, we've been doing this whole thing and kind of focusing on the negative, but there is a positive aspect of this, of we're also all still here for each other, and that's a win. I wanted you guys to hear that story to understand that even with all the crap that I dealt with, that, you know, at times I just wish I could bleach out of my brain, I still have wins that I try and focus on. He got 7 more years with his family. He died in his sleep in about 2013, 2012 at a Wounded Warrior Project event, surrounded by family. Of our 6 bikes, we have 3 that have leaking fork seals. That's the calcium carbonate that they put on the roads to keep the dust down. So we're just trying to go in and clean out all the debris before they leak too much oil out of them.
Just to clean out any grit that may have gotten past it, because there was quite a bit of grit on that other side. So
basically what happened was it all tacked on there and just kept going up, and once it hardens, it's like cement. Fork oil coming all the way down my brakes. That's what I saw when I pulled up. So like if you've got it gripping the tube and you force a little rock in there, now you've got space left and right of the rock. So we're just gonna see if that little scraper gets in there and just clears the rock out, and she seals back up.
that would be rad.
But as far as Eagle Plains, I don't know. I think there's maybe 4 people that live here, a bunch of truck drivers, a bunch of road workers, construction workers, oil field.
You dust patches, some stuff like that. Mostly it was just, trucks coming the other way and completely browning you out in the helmet for 30 to 45 seconds where you're like, well, I hope the road's this way.
Yeah, really dusty. Some of the biggest semis I've ever seen in the world are just flying mock chicken down this road, and you've got little to no time to react. And when they hit you the opposing way, and then the cloud that they left behind, it stays in the air for another mile or two.
Just the views on the Dempster yesterday. Wow. You're looking around you and it's really hard to believe that it's real.
Every day for the last 3 or 4 days now, the scenery every day has been a step above the last.
A rainbow cloud just shining out there. So that was pretty cool.
Mosquitoes are unfucking real. I live in southeast Texas, and I thought mosquitoes were bad there, and these things are nuts. They're in and on and around everything you can imagine. Everybody's wearing nets and covered in DEET. We might as well be using it as lotion.
I've never in my life seen a cloud of mosquitoes around each and every person like that.
It was biblical, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good explanation of the mosquitoes. That was a good thing, because when I went over there, the kid that had fixed the tire had the lug nuts on upside down. So
What?
Yeah, okay. I'm not lying. Yeah, I was like, dude, hold on, stop. Yeah.
If you're in the back getting dusted out and you need to turn up front, which I did yesterday, I was back of the pack. I started getting a stomach ache, back of my throat was scratchy, and I couldn't drink enough water to rinse the dust out. If you're starting to feel some sort of way, take a turn at lead, get forward, because you can get to the point where you get into a coughing fit, you'll get hypoxic, you'll start to get dizzy, or you'll just end up not being focused on what you're doing and have a crash on the road. So there's no reason for it. Toss yourself up front.
No.
Take a turn. Fort McPherson, just getting a little quick gas top off, and then we're gonna keep moving. It should be a longer day today.
We're making forward progress. It's wet, which is not bad, so it's not dusty.
It's been fine. It's kind of pretty much what I expected. So thankfully nothing like major mud or anything like that. So just,
the vibe's a little nasty, but the mosquitoes are the worst. But
the road's been a little loose, but if you just let the bike go, it'll just go through all of this slush stuff. Yesterday was the bumpy stuff that was tearing up suspension and trying to eat tires. So I'd kind of take this little bit of washy with the rain knocking down all of the dust.
It's making me appreciate just how much my wife means to me and my family and my son. I've had a lot of time to think about that.
You're just pissed, and it's frustrating because it's not at anything. It's 8,000 people a year, and that's a low number. Like, every veteran knows somebody who has committed suicide, and you kind of start running through it, and you just kind of eventually see the light go on of like, oh, this is so much worse than I ever could have possibly imagined it, and everyone knows it. Like, all the veterans at least know about it and want to try and do something about it.
with civilians, they just don't get it. And I tell them stories and they're just like, is it like Call of Duty? Like, no. The boring parts, yes. Sitting around for 12 hours. So I think it's just ignorance.
I think it's kind of a complex question and a complex answer, because pushing emotions aside and being able to compartmentalize is important, because you got to get the job done, right? You don't get the job done, you may not come home, or the person next to you may not come home. But there has to be a point when you do get home that you can shut it off and work through your problems. I think we've all pushed it back years. I got out in 2015, and until this trip, never really talked to anybody, 8 years later.
But if we're going to do it with veteran and active duty suicide, it has to be done from within, because we're the only ones with the credibility. We're the only ones who are going to be able to get other vets to listen to us, because otherwise you just have the outside expert asshole trying to tell you how to live your life.
I go talk to psychologist, see the counselor. They're trying to do a job, but they don't really have a good grasp on what it is we deal with. But to be able for us to come together like this here, and you can talk to this person or this person or this person, and they get it. They get it. We can exchange ideals and stuff like that, and it is so therapeutic.
We had some really long days in the helmet, and if it weren't for the sharing that we had done in that helmet, we would not have learned what we did about some of the people on this ride and the experiences they've had and their pasts and the things they've been through. And hopefully those things that we've shared, those were painful to share. They were scary to share. What goes out into the world, especially in this digital age, is there forever. So,
I mean, personally, I wouldn't. There's no chance in fucking hell that I wouldn't take a phone call for that person that needs it, right?
I know I need to do something to support you, but I don't know how. I don't know what to say. Like, something's got to change, and the only way
and we are going to fix this, or it's not going to get fixed.
One of the other things that had happened is that there was one point in time in which I was working on a motorcycle, and I think I must have been changing the oil. And I cranked it up just to get everything flowing, so I could recheck the oil again. And I just closed the doors to the shed and just sat down. I wasn't wanting to hurt myself. It could have ended differently, but it's like another friend of mine had told me, Maxine had told me, you've got to figure out what it is you're willing to do anything for. What do you have to live for? And by the time I went down, wife, my kids, and my granddaughter, that was it. I had to make sure I did not take some cheap route out and cause my family even more pain. Because a death of a loved one from suicide is more than just losing a family member.
Until our military start voicing their concerns over the loss of their fellow soldiers, nothing is going to change. It should not be that a man or woman who is serving is 4 times more likely to die at their own hands than they are at the hands of the enemy.
No man left behind because somebody has a broken foot will drag you out. But same thing, no man left behind because someone is struggling with something.
Getting to Tuk, like, that was a bucket list item, but that's an adventure ride that I could have done myself. It was about all the other stuff. That's why I'm here.
I don't think it necessarily ends, right? Like, you kind of hear my oath never ended at the end of my service or whatever people say, but I mean, really it didn't. And in more capacities than just being in the military. There's 7 of us here that are all veterans. I've got 7 more people that I'm adding to my exclusion from my do not disturb at night, right? Like, they can call me at any time. I think we all need to figure out how we can be there for the person in need. I don't know if there's anything else that we can do at this point except for talking about it and be there. Hopefully the person that you're there for will turn around and do the same.
But if we wanted to make this something special and something that's going to generate some change, we had to give a lot more, and a lot of it wasn't, physical or financial. It was all emotional in here.
I hope that Embrace the Tuk becomes a movement. I really do. I hope it becomes a movement to not just change what we're doing in our military and how we treat our military men and women, but how we treat all military men and women.
What is it that you want to live for? Find that one thing that you want to live for, whether it's already in your life or you need to go look a little bit and find it. But find it, that one thing to live for, and take it and run with it.
We are now in Inuvik. We didn't quite make it to Tuk today, but I think that was a good decision and a safe decision. All of us are a little worn out, a little tired, a little beat up, and saw the first pavement in a very long time. Had to fight every urge to just get down and kiss it, but we're now in camp setting up, and then tomorrow, Arctic Ocean.
Long day, lots of dust, not a whole lot of miles, lots of malfunctions and stops, lots of mosquitoes. I'm mostly just tired right now. It's just a long, long day.
We had 1 or 2 challenges with a flat tire here or there, but hey, that's life.
Much better day, much smoother ride, even though we tended to have more problems today between a rock getting stuck in the brakes and then a flat tire on the truck.
I think mentally kind of hit the wall today. That with
thank you guys so much for the help. It was amazing.
Father's Day and I'm away from my wife, away from my kids and my grandkids. It was a tough day. I'm glad we called it short. She was born in California, so she's used to that. I don't think I could get her to live here. No, I don't think so. She's a good woman, though. I have to say that because I'm on camera now, so.
Woohoo! You got it! We made it. Amazing. We're a day late, but I wouldn't change it for the world. The weather's perfect. We got everyone here safely. Doug got to pull in on the old 1290 and make us proud.
Cool, really cool. I mean, this is awesome. Got to be the best thing I've ever done.
I don't even know. It's amazing. I never would have thought I'd ever come up here for anything, so kind of speechless, really.
Where you're from?
The States.
Wow. Long ride.
A little bit, yeah.
Welcome to Tuk, you guys. Go in the ocean. Go have a bathe.
Hey, Billy, you look. Inuvik to the Arctic Ocean and back. So we reached our goal for destination, and we're well on our way to reaching our goal for this project, to raise awareness to veteran and active duty military suicide.
I've been helping plan this for probably over 9 months. I think I got involved in September, and it's June, and we're all here, and it worked. And it's kind of crazy.
We essentially conquered the top of the world. We went as far north as we could by road, through some crazy scenery, the Yukon, Northwest Territories, British Columbia. We started in Oregon, and we finally reached our most northern point, which of course resulted in quite a few of us jumping in the Arctic Ocean and freezing our asses off.
Whoa! Shit, that's cold.
Cold as hell, sharp rocks. I would definitely do it again in a heartbeat.
The Dempster Highway up here, and it'll gradually get worse and worse and worse. And let me tell you what, buddy, they weren't lying, okay? Around 560 miles of dirt and gravel. We've ridden in rain for several days, stuff like that.
Looked out kind of over the Arctic Ocean and called my son.
He helped me stay focused. I used my last Hoke sticker on my last sign, and then went and hopped in the Arctic Ocean and just was able to release everything that had just been weighing on me and on my heart and on my mind, and it was amazing.
We're obviously here for another reason, and getting to be a part of it is just it's humbling.
It kind of all started hitting me, in addition to just all the memories of the guys that aren't here now, and how much I wish that they could be to take part in this. So that was a really emotional moment for me. I definitely got pretty overwhelmed.
I feel like we were just here in Astoria a couple days ago. I don't understand how we got to the Arctic and back so fast.
It was one of those situations where you realize that if your mind is not 100% on the road, you won't be on the road.
Very slippery on the metal.
So to have that mental focus for that long exhausted you very quickly.
It's been a great experience, not for just the ride, but for the people that were in it, all military veterans, and we can link up and sync and just talk about anything, in which that has been absolutely so therapeutic for me on many levels. But now the first phase is over and the second phase is beginning to complete this mission.
The awareness of like how many people are being affected by it. It's like, oh, I mean, they're talking to these guys. I didn't realize how many were affected by it. Like, I thought they were all like me, like, oh yeah, I know somebody, but no, it's directly affecting them. Like, oh, okay.
Like when you realized you have a problem, what were you struggling with?
So one of the things that I knew would happen coming into this trip is the more tired you are and the more comfortable you are around people, the more you lose your protective shells, your layers, your masks, whatever you want to call it. One of my fears before this trip was that I would find out that I didn't like who was behind the mask or underneath those layers. And the more layers I peeled off each day of the trip, the more supportive the group was and kind of the happier I was with that person.
Not everything needs to be kept inside, so just be willing to at least share a little bit.
If you've got a soldier or veteran that says, I'm okay, and you see that there's something wrong, if they say that they're okay, you said that's bullshit. They're not okay.
Don't give up. Tomorrow's another day. If you find a good group to be with, they can get you out of the pit. Surround yourself with positive people. Don't do the same miserable thing and expect different results. Like you gotta break those weird habits that hold you back. So
it's a medical condition that needs medical intervention, and the earlier you get it and the earlier you address it and the earlier you bring it up, the better, the faster, and the stronger you can heal this wound and this condition that's going on. Don't wait until you're coping with chemicals. Don't wait until you're lying to people about how you really are and really hiding all these things. The deeper you go into that hole, the harder it is to get back out. The moment you think you're in a lull, do the things you need to do to get yourself happy again and get yourself healthy again, because the longer you cope, the more off track you are and the harder it is to get back on.
It gets better. It gets worse, but it does get better. This trip is kind of a visual representation of what it feels like to be dealing with PTSD and depression and everything else. Like, there's high points and low points. There's successes and there's failures. But you always have people around you that you can lean on.
And we did make it. Make a little Doug sandwich.
Like I struck a gold mine with your hand in mine. Our love came alive. We've still got the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. Oh, the rest of our lives.
Adventure for the sake of adventure is great. It's phenomenal, but adventure with a cause like we're doing just is going to leave a lifelong lasting impression on me, and I hope that when this documentary comes out, it's going to leave a lifelong lasting impression on a lot of other people who have the power to make change, and people that are smarter than me and have ideas to actually implement that change and hope to curve or make a change in the stream flow of where our veterans' mental health are, our veterans in active duty are in dire need. And I just hope this has the impact that we all want it to and that we all are riding within our hearts. Somebody watching this picks up on that and they bring it into their heart and they implement it in their life, and they know the phone numbers to dial and the doors to knock on to make that a reality. Anybody who watches this, I hope you get as much out of it as we did, and I hope you know that If you aren't on this ride with us, but you feel connected to it, then you are on this ride with us, and you're here with us, and we're here with you. And if you're going through something yourself, use the resources, call your shipmate. If you're doing great, that's amazing, great. But call your shipmate who might not be doing great. Call your friend, your family member, your loved one, tell them you love them. You never know what a small gesture might do to change the trajectory of somebody's life. Something that you might see as small or non-consequential could be literally a matter of life and death for somebody in need. And thank you.